What is up, everyone? Good morning. I know it's a Saturday morning. We're all excited to be alive and coding. Shout out to the people who have said hi. What's up, Adam? I always love seeing like consistent hackers who, like, Adam's been around since like my first live streams for Local Hack Day build. I believe that's what it was. Yeah, because we're doing share now. So yeah, I love seeing all the different hackers and getting to meet everyone. But so today, we're going to be working on kind of learning a little bit of C#. This is something that's pretty new to me too, so I'm excited to kind of go through this with y'all. I'm going to go over some basic syntax that I've learned thanks to W3 Schools, my absolute lifesaver. And then I'm going to go ahead and we'll like go over some basic syntax, like what are variables, if statements. It's pretty similar to Java and C#. If you have experience with those, I would say definitely more similar to Java. And then we'll have like a fun little like hard coding, like a chatbot kind of thing, just to kind of get some practice with it. But Adam, I will check out the Melon Blahaj gang and just at the end. Okay, remind me. But so today, the way we're going to do it, I'm going to pull up all my notes. We're going to go ahead and start pretty simple. Let's first make sure that everyone has Visual Studio Code. So yeah, great question. We're going to go ahead and start off with Visual Studio Code. I just sent the link in the chat. You can download it for like Linux, Mac, or Windows. Honestly, it's a great IDE. I use it for like everything. I use it for everything, so I definitely recommend checking it out. So there's a couple things that we'll have to download once we get Visual Studio Code, but I know Visual Studio Code can take a sec, so if anyone does not have it, pop in the chat and I'll wait a little bit longer. We can just ride this wave. It's a Saturday morning. It's a beautiful day outside. Honestly, I'm ready to go coding. Yeah, so luckily, my experience with C# is very new. I know at work they typically use Visual Studio, but because VS Code is easier to download and we're not doing anything like super big, it'll work fine for our purposes. But you know, you got a point. Okay. Okay, no one's saying that they don't have Visual Studio Code, so I'm just gonna assume y'all do. Okay, and so then I'm gonna go ahead and share my Visual Studio Code with y'all. Adam asked how my new guild is because I left Blahaj gang. I know, I'm sorry. I had to. I did have to. They were really nice. I had to go to like the club that I started, but Blahaj gang is such a good guild to join, so make sure to check it out. What's up, Tony? Okay, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do now, like on my computer, is I'm just making a new folder. I have a Mac, so it's gonna vary for however you do it. I'm just gonna make a new folder so that way I can save all this. So learn C#. So I'm just gonna call it learn C# MLH. That's it. We're going to be doing everything through Visual Studio Code, so I'm about to show you the extensions that you need. Give me one sec. Okay. There's a lot of windows. It takes a lot. Okay. Right here. I think this is it. Okay. Look. Okay, perfect. So this is Visual Studio Code right now. I'm gonna make it a little bit wider, fill up the string. I would love to have an alliance. We can definitely figure that out later. I want to see if that's within the rules. But okay, so now we're here. We have Visual Studio Code open. I just opened an empty folder. I named it Learn C# MLH only because I already had a Learn C# folder. So whatever you want to name it, you can. Then we're going to make sure that we have 2 vital extensions. So in Visual Studio Code, if you don't know, there's a bunch of extensions that you can download that make it so easy to use. In general, I always really use the Git extension pack. That helps me out so much. But you can also use different extensions for different languages. So the ones that we'll be using today are, of course, C#. We love C# because we love C# and Visual Studio Code together because they're both Microsoft products, so it works out pretty well. So make sure that you get this C# extension. All you have to do is go in that left right here and just look up C#. That's it. It's pretty easy peasy. That being said, I do want to clarify the challenge for today is learning a new language. So if you already know C#, still come along with me and we'll learn the same stuff together, but pick a language that you don't know, maybe C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, and come learn the same principles. Pull up a tutorial, Google things. We're programmers. Google is our best friend. Stack Overflow is our best friend. So we can all check it out. So after you get C#, make sure that you also get and then after, hold on, you have to look this up to get. And then after that, make sure that you get the .NET SDK. So I'm sending a link in the chat. .NET is, how do I explain this? It's correct me if I'm wrong, I'm still super new. So if someone knows more about C#, please do. From what I understand, it's a platform for a service that we can use to run C# on and also build some apps. So the very little that I do know about C# as a whole is that at my last internship, I worked on the front end primarily, but they had a back end that was all done through C# and they had they used .NET to run the app, the backend app. Okay. But I can also look at their about right now. And let's see what it says. Let's see what's here. Okay, so .NET, we're learning this together. Okay, y'all. .NET, it's a free cross-platform open source developer platform. So it sounds like just a certain, it's just a platform that you can write apps in. Looks like you use C#, F#. I did not know that was a thing. And Visual Basic, which I think is definitely older. But it sounds like a platform that works pretty easily on a bunch of different things, whether it's websites, desktops. I think you can also use them for mobile apps. And it's pretty consistent. I think it's just sounds like it's just a platform as a service. But look, there's all these different things that we can do. We're primarily just learning the syntax. So we're gonna just do a simple what's an if statement? What's a variable? But I'm down to kind of take some suggestions from the crowd on what to do. Warpig asks, hi, you can write for Mac OS on C#. I don't know, this right here, this says desktop. I'm gonna go ahead and open it. Let's explore a little bit. You can use Xamarin to build Mac OS, iOS, Android, and Windows native apps on a shared .NET code base. And then it sounds like iOS is the same thing. So what's really cool about you know, if you want to make just an iOS native app, you do have to use Swift, but there's a lot of software out there, a lot of frameworks like Expo or React Native that allow you to make like these native apps all with one code base. So I definitely recommend that if you want to work on building an iPhone app, but you don't have a MacBook and you want to learn something that you can apply, you know, broadly rather than just iPhones, check out like React Native or Xamarin. Yeah, that is true for macOS. Xcode with Swift is, I think, the ideal, but if you can't, there's definitely other ways to get around that. Ooh, if you have a course on Visual Basic, I would love to learn it. I feel like I always hear about it, but I always hear about it, but I never like actually learned too much of it. Okay, what are we doing here today? So essentially, we're just gonna go over some like syntax for C#. We're gonna learn a programming language together. So I'm gonna be using W3 Schools as a reference. We're gonna try some different stuff. I'm gonna do like a little challenge you all to do it with me. And then we'll be doing that in C#. And the challenge for today is learn a new language. So if you already know C#, go ahead and pick a, pick some other language that may be new to you, whether it's Java, JavaScript, C++, Python, Visual Basic. I'm just naming stuff off the top of my head. But yeah, so you can go ahead and just like practice along. I'll be doing a lot of syntax stuff that's applicable in all different languages, so you can definitely come along. W3 Schools, yes, reference, and we're learning C#. Oh, I did not download Xamarin for Windows. I was just exploring a little bit more. Right now, for anyone who's new, sounds like we've gotten a lot of people, is make sure you've downloaded Visual Studio Code and you've gotten the .NET. We're gonna use 5.0. Make sure you get the .NET. Here, let me make it so it's the original link that I had. We want the download.NET. We want the SDK for VS Code. So make sure you download this for VS Code, and then make sure you also get the CSharp extension as well. If you don't know how to do like the CSharp extension, I will show you in just a sec. But yeah. Yeah, keep popping things in the chat. If y'all already know C#, what is a language that you want to take the time to learn? Even if it is just basics. That being said, once you learn one programming language, you'll see that there are so many similarities, and learning the next one is way easier than learning your first. Oh, I'm glad you love the pop-up feature. It's pretty easy. I'm just using StreamYard. All I have to do is like click. So that's a behind the scenes for MLH. I am actually in a class right now where I'm learning MIPS. Ew, exhausting. Hate it. Would you mind sharing what F# is? I've actually never heard it before, except for reading it just now. C# is pretty cool. We're gonna be going over some basics about it, but yeah, I think it would be so cool as like a future challenge, or even if you want to extend on today, like past the live stream, like making a .NET app with C#. You know what? That's the best thing about learning something new, honestly. You never know what it is. Okay, so at this point, let me know if you haven't installed Visual Studio Code and you haven't installed the .NET SDK. I want to make sure that everyone, or I want to make sure as much as possible that everyone is on the same page. Yeah, thank you. Looks like Adam's our C# guru. I might need you if someone asks me a question about why do you do this. If you're still installing, I'll just wait for a sec. We're just chatting. We're having a good time. Oh, I want to plug Local Hack Day while we're here. Let me send the link in the chat. Oh, we got love links in the chat. I'm going to send you all to the schedule. But I'm also going to pull up my computer. What am I doing? Okay, Local Hack Day. You see, I already have it. It's like right up there. Okay, so Local Hack Day starts actually tomorrow. So today is the last day of March challenges because we're going to start with a crazy week. We're going to start a crazy week with Local Hack Day. So what we're going to go ahead and do is if you want to sign up, I'm going to go ahead and copy this link for y'all. Sign up there. But Local Hack Day Share is essentially just a week-long celebration where we have a bunch of workshops, a bunch of challenges, and even guilds. So guilds are like little families, little like sub-communities inside our global hacker community where you can get to meet new people. If you look at our schedule, we have things like Sunday all the way to Monday, where we'll have our closing ceremony. And so shout out to Melon Gang, or Melon Squad, and Blahaj Gang. So I'm a personal advocate for Blahaj Gang. But I will be doing, I'll be doing the No Light Share edition. Then I don't think I'm doing anything until Thursday, where I'll be doing create a one-button game. Then I'll be doing the threat hunting with Elastic Security, and then an instrument emulator, and then automating something to share daily. So if you want to pop in, say hi, please do. For No Light, we'll be doing kind of like social media share insights. Okay, so now back to the content we originally planned for. The .NET extension. So, sorry, the .NET, there's no actually .NET extension. We're going to use the SDK that we download from Microsoft. Again, I'm going to send that in the chat. Okay. I'm going to send that in the chat right there. But if you're looking for, okay, sorry, this takes, okay. But if you're looking for an extension, we do have our CSharp extension right here. All you have to do is just look up CSharp. So if you don't know what an extension is on Visual Studio Code, it's just a bunch of things you can add to your IDE to make life so easy for you. So you can see, like, I already have a few, like, I have quite a few. And you can just go to this button right here. It's like the 4 circles. And just look up CSharp and then download it. Once you have everything downloaded, completely close out of your VS Code. Completely close out of your VS Code and then reboot it, because you need a restart to make sure that your extension works. So now we're here. Okay. So now we're here. And then at this point, we should have .NET like ready for us. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to open the terminal. The way we do that is, I think we can use the caret and the squiggly. No. Okay, so the way I'm going to do that is, y'all can't see because it's like using my top bar, but go ahead and go to the top bar and click terminal and then click new terminal. That's it. And then something should pop down here. Okay. So this is the folder I'm in, Learn C# MLH. To kind of make sure that I have .NET, I'm just going to go ahead and do a simple .NET version. Ooh. Apparently this is a shortcut to open terminal, so try it out. In Windows. I have a Mac, so sad. But I love always, whenever you like download something new for your command line, I always put in the command and then do -- version. If it returns something, that means that I do have it installed and it's all good. We should all, I think, have like 5.0, and then unless you've like downloaded it before. And then once we're ready with that, we can go ahead and actually get started with our .NET app. This is just a framework. We're going to go really simple. We're going to essentially treat it very similar to a script, where it's not going to be too involved, but so it's not going to be too involved. Is the reboot necessary? Yes. After you download the CSharp extension, and also if you had Visual Studio Code before you downloaded the .NET SDK, it won't have it. So if you downloaded it and you get an error that says like, oh, command like .NET command not found, then you just need to reboot it. I'm pretty sure that when you get the extension, when you just download it, it requires you to reboot. But I also did it earlier this week, so I'm not sure. But yeah, always reboot. It never hurts. You don't have to reboot your computer. You just have to close out of the app and reopen it. That's it. What's up? Hi. Okay. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're in our folder. Okay, make sure we're in our folder. We don't want to start a .NET app somewhere else. If you're curious what our folder is, it's just like this right here should look similar to what your folder name is. So I'm in the Learn C# MLH folder. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do .NET new. Okay? I'm going to full send that. It's going to do a lot of things. That's really intimidating. But it's okay. It's okay. I did a lot of things. Oops. Sorry. It's .NET new console. That's what we want. .NET new console. So this is going to create like a console application. So it's essentially going to just pretty much just stuff out to, you know, the console, the terminal. And then at this point, we're going to get like a folder, a CS project folder or file, and then a C# file. We're going to open the C# file. This is what we're going to look at. Okay, so does it work with when the forms? I don't know. That might be something cool to check out. I know there's a bunch of different options here, but again, I'm super new to C#. But let me know if it does. Okay, so now we're here. We've already done .NET new console. Let me open that. Let me make a banner for you. For this is what we just did. Okay, this is what we just did. .NET new console. This is just creating a console app, and then we're going to go ahead and open program.cs, and this is going to be program.cs. This is going to be the file that we're working in. We're essentially just going to delete stuff and write over it and whatever. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Then just to make sure everything's working, we're going to go ahead and just do a simple .NET run. That's it. Hands off. And what is it going to do? It takes a sec to compile. It really does. But it's going to say hello world. And now we've just ran our, I don't know, this is technically like my second C# app. But for a lot of y'all, I hope is your for a lot of y'all, I hope that it is your first. If it is not your first, please take this time to learn a new language with us, no matter what it is. You'll be kind of going through like the same steps. We're going to go over like variables, print, input, if statements, and then kind of like a small challenge using those concepts. Then if anyone has questions about like how to do other syntax, then I will Google it and we'll learn it together. Okay. So I'm going to assume now that we've all got the hello world printed out to our console. That means we're good. We've got this set up and we're having a good time. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that banner. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and send y'all this tutorial right here. We're just using this tutorial to scroll down and access some what's the word? Oh, some code. So go ahead and check that out really quick and scroll all the way down to enhance the app, and then step 3. It's going to be like a chunk of code that starts out with console write name. What is your name? Would I recommend VS Code or Visual Studio Community for .NET Dev? So right now, since I'm keeping it super simple, I'm just doing Visual Studio Code because that's what most people download in general and already have, whereas Visual Studio Community or Visual Studio in general is a lot more involved and takes way longer to download, but that typically is better. You'll have faster compile times according to Adam, and I've also seen it used like in industry. Yeah, it's from Microsoft though, so it's okay. We'll work to, if there's any red flags that you see me doing like bad practice, let me know. I do think that the var probably is bad practice though. But we're gonna go ahead and take that code from enhance the app in that link that I sent, this link right here. We're gonna take the code from enhance the app step 3 that says console write line, what is your name? And we're gonna go ahead and just paste it in. So I'm just gonna copy this and paste it in, and then we'll kind of talk through like what is the difference, like different points here. Two things to notice is that it was receive var name right here. So we already know that this is going to be a string because that's what like the user is going to input, and we want to make sure that as best as possible we're being as specific. This way we avoid any errors in the future, or if we do get errors, they'll be more descriptive. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this so it's a string. I'm going to change this to date time. So shout out to Adam for pointing that out. I appreciate it. Okay, so we don't need to know too much about this right now. We're going to go ahead and run it, see what happens, and then look into what exactly is going on. So we're going to do another .NET run. This is going to prompt this to run in the console. So my name, as you can tell, right, oh goodness, right here is Mara. So it says, hello, Mara, on March 27th, 2021 at 10:30 a.m. It's 10:30 a.m.? Exactly? Wow. And it tells me my name, and it gets the date and time. This is pretty cool. This is pretty nifty. And it says press any key to exit. So right now, like I'm still in this app. I'm just hanging out. I'm just going to press like a K, and it kicked me out. That's all good. All good and dandy. So what's going here is using system right here is just using the namespace system. From what I understand, it's just kind of the, it allows you to access basic C-sharp functionalities. So like console write line, which is essentially like print if you know Python, or system out print line if you know Java. It allows us to access these functions. Then we have a namespace that's just going to be like learn C-sharp LH. This is essentially going to be our namespace for this folder. This helps keep everything just kind of like organized and neat. So if for any reason we have another project, that's has very similar like variable names or something like that, we keep them separate, and we know that because they're under different namespaces. If you worked with classes before, class is the same thing, but to kind of simplify it for anyone who hasn't, it's essentially just like a bundle of code just in one section. So if we want to go with a class analogy, it's like you have a classroom and you have all these different aspects, whether they're students or desks or groups, similar to like variables or functions or whatever, and they all belong into one class. Next, we have the static void main. If you used, I think C++, I know definitely has this. I haven't coded in Java in like a year and a half. So I think Java also has this, but the main function is essentially what's going to run whenever you run the application. So whatever is in here is going to run. So even if you write like other functions, unless they get mentioned in this main section, nothing's going to happen. Okay, and then let's go into a little bit of what we're doing, like what we're doing here. Okay, so looks like right here on line 9, we have is console. Ooh, scanner. That brought back some Java memories. I do believe so, because from what I understand, sorry, I'm a little like stuffed. From what I understand, scanner essentially does input. Oh, it does input, right? But not output. So for us, console write line is going to do output, and then console read line is going to do input. So it'll do both. But yeah. So line 9 is essentially just printing. You've probably heard print in a lot of different other programming languages. It's just going to say like output to the console, hey, what is your name? And then string name equals console.readline. So this is going to be similar to Python, where they say like input. And I can't remember. It's been, again, like a year and a half since I've taken Java. So maybe if next line basically takes in the next thing that the user inputs and saves it to a variable. So in our case, it asked us, what is your name? And I said Mara, and it took that and saved that into the variable name. Save that into the string variable name. Then next, what we did, this is just like kind of like a fun thing, kind of like a sidebar kind of thing. We made a date and time variable. So this has a bunch of information like what the year is, what the month is, day, hour, minute, I believe even second. And you can format it in a bunch of different ways, where you can get like the weekday from it, or you can get the year from it, or whatever. For us, we seem to just get the date and the time. And then what we have here is this write line. This is like if you've ever used JavaScript, this is kind of similar, where you can do the string interpolation. I think that's how you pronounce that. You do like a $sign and then quotes, and then anything inside curly brackets is going to be like a variable name or some kind of like, instead of just being a string, it can be like actual code. So environment new line is just a variable that is the new line. So if you notice, we have a space right here. Then we say hello, and then it gives us our name, and then it says on, and then it takes that current date variable, and just like I mentioned before, you can format it any kind of way. So it just took the date, it said at t time. If you want to look more into date and time, it's a whole class to explore. So definitely take some time, Google it. It's so useful in different projects that you need to know what the time is or gather like any time specific data. Yes, interpolation is interpolation. I feel like I said it right once. But anyways, yeah, it is super fun. If you're ever coding in like I do a lot of React, so it's super useful when I'm doing like JavaScript or TypeScript, because otherwise I don't want to keep doing like a plus and a typecast to string, etc., whatever. Just the interpolation is so much easier. Okay. And then we have another console write. So this is going to be just a print. And then we have console read key. Console read key is just saying that it's just waiting for you to like do something. If I take this out, not much is going to change. Not much is going to change, except it's just going to go ahead and kick out of the console. So if you notice before, it like waited for me to say something, waited for me to press a button, but now it just immediately kicked us out. So yeah. No, 100%. I was so intimidated by C#. I like signed up to like do this live stream like a month ago, and I was like, what am I gonna do? But then I actually like looked it up, and I was like, wait, this is pretty similar to like the other programming languages I've learned. So yeah, that being said, like always take some time, learn a new language, because once you learn one, like after that, it's, you know, relatively easy to learn others. All you have to do is just learn a little bit of syntax. Okay, so now what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna talk a little bit about different aspects that we're going to pay attention to. So I just want to highlight that this console write line is essentially a print. Print in Python, system out, print line in Java, and a C out in C++. I'm going to be honest, I only coded Python and JavaScript nowadays, even though I have a class project due in C++. But yeah. So if you ask me like questions about like other programming languages, I like pull it out from like the depths of my brain, but it's definitely been a long sec. Yes, every language, it looks complicated, but then we see that they're all errors that we've probably seen before when we learned our first programming language. It might be a little different depending on the framework. So like .NET apps are probably gonna be a little bit different, but you know, we've got it. We're chugging along. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention now that we're gonna start writing our own code is that everything has to sorry, I'm like reading the chat as I go. Everything that we write has to end in a semicolon. Otherwise, .NET's gonna give us a big old error. And with these compile times, we do not have time for it to tell us when we have an error. You don't know. Okay, so the static void, that is essentially, again, someone who knows Java or C# better, but essentially this is just like, this is the function header. So in Python, there's a lot of implicit casting. So it'll like assume like, oh, this must be an integer, or oh, this must be a string. But in other programming languages, it's required that you specify like, what is this function going to return? So basically what this is saying is that this is like a static function, so it's not, I'd have to look up what a static function is. But with the void part, what that means is that it's not returning anything. So if you return something, so wait, let's actually test this out. Return 0. So if I try to return something, you'll see that I'll get an error right here. It says, since this returns void, you're not allowed to actually return some value. So this is pretty similar for other functions as well. So if you want to return true or false, you would just need, if you want to return true or false, you would need to say like bool the function name and then code the function. It's just saying like what exactly, it's just giving you more details. Static means that you don't need an instance of the class, just the class itself. So you don't need to create like an instance yet. So thank you. Thank you all for helping out. I always love this hacker community because I'm gonna be honest, you know, I do my best to learn, but I don't know everything. Yes, Adam. Okay, snaps. So And if you're talking about the whole line as well, main just runs when you start the program rather than it just starting at the top of your Python file. So yeah, so main is going to be, you know, that main code that runs. Python will run through everything, but main, but like with languages like CSharp, it's going to look at that main function first. When I post to terminal.net run, I get project not found, not comfy with VS Code. Did you do .NET new console beforehand? So did you run this command to set up the project? Yeah, make sure that you create the application. It's pretty quick, and then you can .NET run. Easy peasy. Okay, so wow, I haven't used CCPC forever. Okay, so now let's go over a couple of variables that you'll probably see in like a day-to-day. So we have int. Int stores an integer. If you don't know what an integer is, it's just a whole number. So I can say int age. So I'll put in my age, 19. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Don't want to sneeze on live stream. Ooh, okay. Then we also have double. So double will store floats. So think of like decimal numbers you can put here. So I can say my bank account has approximately $12.72. There we go. So that's the decimal value. Yeah, and then we have char. So char, chair, care. It's like character, but why do I always hear everyone say char? Okay, but this is short for character. It's essentially just like imagine single characters. So I can say my initial, and I would just put in M. So that's my first initial, my first name. Then I could do a string. So a string is pretty consistent in all languages. These variable types are all consistent, but if you're coming from a programming language like Python instead of Java or C++, this is probably going to be your first time that you are actually declaring your variables. So again, when I mentioned earlier, just like how we have to say static void, and we declare these things with like int or double or char or string, it lets us know like, hey, what is this supposed to be? And how can I use this information so if we get errors in the future or even like maybe the IDE will like detect something to avoid it in the future. So yeah. Wait, Adam, that's a fun piece of knowledge. What do you mean by suffix the value? Can you give us like a line of code? And then as for string, I'm gonna put my name. I'm gonna say Mara. And then for bool, I'm gonna say love MLH, and I do. That's a true. Okay. So it looks like, fun fact, if you want to use a float value, if you use that in other programming languages, you can just do that here. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty sick. Okay. And then, okay, so what we have here are 5 different variables. If you're new to programming, these are probably like super new. If you just started, I don't know. But int just covers whole numbers. Double covers decimal numbers. Char will cover single characters. And then string will cover like, text. And then bool will cover true or false values. These are just 5 of the most common ones that you'll see. If you're like wondering like, why can't I use a string instead of a char? You could, but when you get into like a lot of like higher level programming or more in-depth programming, you'll find that string takes up way too much space. So by limiting the space to only exactly what you need, it'll be better in the long run. Okay, So now if I want to go ahead and make, and I want to print all this out, I'm going to say console writeline. And I'm going to do string interpolation just to, help myself out. And in the curly brackets, I'm going to put all the variables. So I'm going to say, hi, my name is, the name, it starts with, and then I'm going to put my initial. I'm age, years old, with bank account to my name, and my love for MLH is loves MLH. So this is just a fun, like, I don't know, kind of reminds me of Mad Libs, but it's just a fun way to kind of get practice with inserting variables into like your string when you're doing the print line. And also getting practice just setting up all these variables. So you can see that now it says, hi, my name is Mara. It starts with an M. I'm 19 years old with a $12.72 to my name, and my love for MLH is true. Sorry that I type really fast. I was like competitive when I was 8, and it's just stuck with me since. Okay, so looks like we got an answer to a question asked in chat. So double and float can be used for decimal numbers, but the capacity that they store after the decimal point matters 100%. So they're like, these 5 variable types are just common ones. They're definitely not all that exist. So definitely check out more of it, especially if you want to get more into coding C#. There is no competitive typing story. I was just in elementary school, we had a computer lab, we played a game, and I just wanted to level up in the game as fast as possible. So I got fast at typing. I think my words per minute, I think consistently is at least like 100. But if I like go really hard and I laser and focus, it's like 120. But I've seen faster typers. I've never entered a competition. I did take keyboarding in 8th grade for that easy A. But yeah, anyways, side note about me. I had a whole complex about it like several years ago. But yeah, now it's just typing, it doesn't matter. I had keyboarding classes when I was in 8th grade. I was 13 in 8th grade, so 6 years ago. And competitions on who types the fastest. But yeah, if you go to like some hackathons, like Who Hacks, which is actually this weekend, gotta plug my university. Last year they had a typing competition. I got into the final bracket, but I think the guy who won like typed 160 words per minute. It was actually insane. Okay, so now back to C#. I know we got time for this, but we'll try to go as much as possible. Okay, so now that we've kind of gone through like variables and console lines, what if instead of just saying what the name is, we want to go ahead and just ask what their name is? So I'm going to go ahead and do console read line. This is similar earlier, but something I want to mention here is that if we just do read line, let's compile this. It'll take a second. If we just do read line, we're not going to really have a prompt. It's just going to like look like it's an empty blank. So I'm just going to type in my name and it'll work out. But typically you want to make sure that like you're asking for something. So please type your name here. And then make sure you get that semicolon. And instead of write line, I'm just going to do write so that input happens on the same line. This is a very like nuanced thing. So it's like the difference between if you're in Java doing print ln versus just print. So this just makes it so it's all in one line. This is more similar to Python's input function where it just happens on the same line. Okay, so perfect right here. It like prompts me and then I read the line. So in Python, it does the prompting and reads the line of the same function. But here in C#, we got to do both. Okay. So that's kind of just a bit of user input. And now if we talk a little bit about if statements, I'm going to go ahead and just delete this whole thing. Code is temporary. Tech is temporary. So I'm just going to backspace. I'm going to give it a couple seconds in case anyone wants to copy it down, but I'm just going to backspace. Yeah, so C#, from what I've seen, I wonder what would happen if we actually fed in something here. Would this be an error? Oh, it looks like you actually can't feed anything into the readline method. So yeah, you'd have to make it separate. So like, you can do just the plain read line, but it's probably not the best for readability if someone else was to like use your console app. So you want to make sure that, you know, you're like telling them like what needs to happen. Okay, then I'm just gonna go ahead, delete all of this. It's gone. Okay, so next we're gonna look at if statements. So if statements, I think here are pretty simple. I'm gonna write a bunch. So I'm gonna say, let's have a string named password that's equal to whatever the user inputs. I'll put a prompt before it too. So console write what's your password. Actually, for fun, I might change this up a little bit and make it so it's formatted a little bit differently. This is just so it's going to look like more like a console app where it's going to have like the two brackets asking you for do stuff. This kind of reminds me of the Python shell. Maybe it's not in other command apps, console apps, but it'll make me happy. So what we'll go ahead and do is we'll just take an input for for the password. So what's the password? I'm just going to say password. Okay, that's it. That's the whole app so far. Can you format the .write with variables too? Yes, you can. So you can print it out. You can just go console. You can either just do, like, you can print it out right here, or you can do something. There's a couple different ways you can do it. Here's the password. Or what we were doing earlier with interpolation. So this is really great when you have non-string variables. You can say like, you can put like a $sign, and you can say, here is the password, and you just put all your variables inside curly brackets. So these are a couple different ways. So we'll go ahead and type in the password. And we're going to put down secure password. And it's going to print out all the different passwords on different ways. So I'm going to go ahead and comment that out. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and kind of use if statements to check to see whether or not this is, you know, secure in a more simplistic way. Yeah, if you want to read up more on it, it's called string interpolation. So I'm going to actually send that in chat. So this is what that's called, string interpolation. It's in it's in other programming languages too. So like, check it out, see if it's in like your primary programming language. Okay, so let's see what's up. What happens if I do that? So line, I want, say 3. That's the whole thing. Let's see if this works. Password. Oh, no, actually, looks like it does work. Let's see if we like make a variable that says number sum val equals 3. And let's just say sum val instead. I think I'm just so used to Python that does not let you do that. Let's see. Oh, Looks like it does work. That's pretty sick. I never do that. Wow. I think all in all, like if I am using a lot of variables, the curly brackets make it so it's like also better for readability because it like works within it. But wow, that's so sick. Yeah, when I was coding this to like, when I was like practicing with a little bit of C# before this, I got errors like every 2 minutes just because of like forgotten semicolons. But thankfully, .NET will tell you. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and start with some if statements. So if statements are actually pretty simple. It's very similar to Java and JavaScript. So I can just say if, and then I put in some kind of condition, and then I do curly brackets, and then type in the code. So for me, I'm going to say if my password equals password, then I'm going to say, whoa there, cowboy. That's not secure. And then, oh wait, I need to stop putting the semicolon inside the text. Okay, don't forget your semicolon, folks. I should probably just make a ticker that just says semicolon. I just semicolon. I just need a constant reminder. Actually, don't forget. There we go. Don't forget semicolons. Except that does block the code. So it was good while it lasted. It really was. Okay, so what we're saying here is like, if this variable password that we just took in earlier equals the word password, we're gonna like, thank you. We're gonna warn the user and tell them that it's not secure. But yes, thank you. I appreciated that a lot. It's so early in the morning for me. I'm so tired. By early, I mean it's 11 a.m. Okay, so now back on track. We have an if statement. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and .NET run. It's gonna ask for a password. We're gonna give it password, and it's gonna go, whoa there, cowboy. That's not secure. So then we're gonna go ahead and like, you know, ideally we're like, oh, that's not a secure password. I shouldn't use it before anymore. But what if it is secure? Then we also want to let it know and just say, else, that's secure. Great job, buddy. I'm really here for like the nicknames right now. So this format right here is if, and then condition in the parentheses, curly brackets, and the relevant code inside the curly brackets, and then else, console write line, that's secure. Great job, buddy. Close enough. I'll find a way to use that. I'll find a way. Is there a way to check if the password contains numbers? Oh, that's a good question. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to Google this. So let's go on this journey together. And let's Google it. Okay, how to check if there are, well, I think someone's already given the answer. So read line to int. So I know read line to like casting it might, you know, we'll keep Googling. Okay. Oh wait, I should probably specify C#. There are a bunch of different programming languages out there. Identify if a string, I don't want to check to see if it's a whole number. Oh, okay. So here's the Stack Overflow. We're here. Okay, so it looks like string.any char is upper, is lower, is digit. This is pretty cool. So this is something that we can try out. Let me copy and paste this into my code and then go back into sharing my code. Okay. I do love DuckDuckGo. last time I said Google stuff, everyone got on me and was like, Google stuff with DuckDuckGo? Excuse me? But honestly, DuckDuckGo is a good time. Okay, so this is the problem that we're trying to figure out. So let's actually, this is a great opportunity to introduce an else if. So I'm going to say else if password, because it replaces a string, dot any. Wait, no, that's not what I want. No, stop. Okay, autocomplete and IntelliSense, only so great. Dot any char is digit. Great job, my dude. Sorry, I couldn't get close enough, but okay, why is any wrong? Huh. So any looks like it's not working, but So what is, oh, okay, using system.link. Would I add it? Okay, so CSharp gurus in the chat, would I add it underneath or would I replace it? So new line, okay. Using system.link. Does it have to be all capital or is it good here? It looks like, yeah, importing this right here, using this, just add it to the top. Add that to the top, and then it looks like this any should work. Okay, so I'm gonna comment this out just in case I need it again. I'm going to run this, and let's see what is up. It's a learning process. We're doing this together. We're going to do password 123. Okay, if this works, it will say, great job, my dude. It worked. Nice. Okay, so it's like a library or a module in Python then. For any Python, C+, like cross programmers, y'all are so supportive. I love the hacker community. Okay, so yeah, so by like using this namespace, we're allowed to use different functions that are part of it, it sounds like. Okay, so there. We kind of got some like if statements. This kind of gives us a chance. Just so I can say like history of what an if statement looks like, I'm just gonna comment this out. If you're actually coding like in the real world, delete code you don't need, but I might like reference this later. So, okay. So next up on our list is kind of working on working on just like a loop. So for us, oh, I can't. Yeah, but I also like doing the control / because it's super quick and easy. But that is a good point. That is a good point. If you want to comment out a big block, just do like /*, and then */ at the end, and I'll comment everything in between. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and kind of do like let's do a while loop and then a for loop. So we'll kind of, actually, we'll expand on this. So we have this if, we'll create something like a Boolean, just a bool that says secure. So we'll start out with saying that it's false. It looks like false has to be lowercase. Sorry, I'm so used to Python. So now we have this Boolean called secure that we set to false. We're going to set this Boolean to true as long as this password is secure. So we're going to do something called a while loop. So while something is true, we're going to keep doing whatever's inside of it. The style for this is while we're going to say conditions. So I'm going to say not secure. So if you've been to our no light mini events, you'll see that we have the exclamation point light. That basically means not in a lot of programming languages. So in Python, it's the same thing. Java, the same thing. Sometimes in Python, you can literally write the word not, but a lot of other programming languages don't have that luxury. So this is a great example right here of a while statement, while loop. Okay, so we're gonna say while it's not secure, we want to go ahead and like print all this stuff, but then we're gonna ask again. So before we said that's not secure, let's add a whole try again. We'll add another type in prompt there, and we're gonna say password equals console.readline. So we're just gonna overwrite it. Otherwise, for all of these, secure is true, and it should kick us out. So this is kind of, if you want to think of like practicality, like when would this be used? Whenever you sign up for a site, okay, whenever you sign up for a site, it's always telling you like, hey, what is, like, type in a password. Just go for it, full send, which I'm going to go ahead and show. So once you type in that password, if it's secure, it's all like, okay, that password works great. But if it doesn't, then it's going to force you to keep typing in that password again, printing out the error each time. So I'm going to say password. That's going to keep asking me until I hit, let's say I do some hacker language. I do P4 word. And it says, great job, my dude, and it kicks me out. Okay, so if I store a variable inside of a loop, will it save outside the loop too once it finishes its iterations? So if the variable is defined in the loop, you know, that's a good question. Let's test it out. Let's see what happens. Let's say, it depends. You store a variable inside if the variable is defined in the loop. So it should, so the way you do it, you say, let's make an int. Let's make a Boolean called failed, and we'll say true. So like if you put in password, it's gonna say like, oh, you failed. Then we can go ahead and let's try writing a line here of did it fail, and then we'll just go ahead and add failed. Oh, it looks like, so part of the error that it looks like here, if it's defined in the loop, the thing is, it's not a guarantee that you'll go into the loop. So because of that, when I write like console write line, did it fail? It's telling me like, hey, you don't have a variable called failed, because like say for whatever reason it was always secure. I know it's not in this case, but say it was always secure, then it's never going to go into this and you'll get an error. So this is like a way of C# going like, hey, there might be an error here. You're not allowed to do this. So like what Adam said, where it says if you like at least declare bool failed above, so you could just do bool failed, and then you don't even have to like initialize it, you can just declare it, or can you? Yeah. Then use of uninitialized fails. So then let's see what happens here. Yeah, kind of. I don't want to like say it too definitively because I'm also still new. So it looks like, yeah, we have to specify that, you know, it's not necessarily failed yet. So it has like a default value to go to. And then now we can go ahead and try that out. So you can say .NET run, we can say password is password, and then we can say secure. And it's like, that's secure, great job, buddy. Did it fail? True. Yes, there are lists in C#. I have to look that up really quick. So let me look up W3 schools. The only thing I would say is I believe that you have Python experience, and what you're probably used to with lists is that they're dynamic. You can keep adding to them. You don't have to define the size, all of that. So let me do. So like in this case, they're going to be called arrays. Yeah, they're going to be called arrays. Wait, C#. Ooh, lists? Wait, I'm gonna Google this. So y'all are gonna watch me Google some. It's honestly, Googling is the way that we're going. Or we can just have Adam help us out. He really is the C# guru today. So let's go ahead and let's add another like import, like another using. I need to share my screen. Let's add another using. Let's say system.collections.generic. Okay, so this is what Adam says works for lists. Then we can go ahead and say list. So type, let's say string, common passwords, just to keep this relevant. And we say new list. Yeah, I do have really big stuffed animals in the corner. Oh, yeah, in the mirror. They're Baby Yoda. Okay. Baby Yoda and like I have a bunch of Squishmallows. I love Squishmallows. They're my favorite thing. I do want a Blahaj, but I think I have to like move into my like first first apartment before I can get a Blahaj. Okay, so new list string. So it looks like we have from what I understand, it looks like we have a class named list, and we're making a new instance of it called common passwords. Is that correct, Adam? You know, what makes C# unique comparatively? C# can be used for a lot of different things. We were on the site earlier. Let me do. C# allows you, I think all in all, programming languages, there are programming languages, but what's really cool about C# is you can use it for a lot of different things. You can use it for web apps, mobile apps, desktop apps, microservices that go on Docker containers, and then you can use it for game development. Oh, if you like Stardew Valley, you can use C# to make mods. So Stardew Valley mods. There's machine learning. You can do cloud on it. You can also make like Internet of Things apps. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. All in all, I think it really depends on what makes you more comfortable, like what are you interested in. But what I've heard C# used for, honestly, are game mods and backends. Okay. Games. It looks like C# and games. Okay, shout out to Adam for carrying us through these list portions. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that as a reference. I'm just gonna keep that on the screen. So basically, what if we make a string or a list of strings called common passwords, and then we'll include in there like the board password, but if there's anything else that's common, we'll also like make it a red flag. So Adam, I guess as our resident list dude, is how do we add to the list? So we can loop through it, but how do we add? Oh, fun fact, if anyone wants it. Let's see if that works. It does. It does work. Okay. Oh, it looks like that's pretty simple. We would just say, let's just add a bunch of stuff. Let's just say common passwords dot add. We'll say password. Common passwords dot add. We'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll just keep it with that to keep it pretty simple. Then, is there any way to check to see, like, if instead of looping, we could just check to see, like, if the password is in there? So I know in Python, I would just say if password in list, and that would be the end of it. But would it be like, could I use like the anything for this? So could I do like common passwords dot any password? Looks like I cannot. So this is another time for Google. How to check to see if string is in the list. Any down here checks to see, oh, y'all exists, contains, loving it. I'll try both and we'll see like which works. We'll try exists first. What does any do? So any takes a string, okay, and finds any character in it that's a digit. So like anything that's inside this condition. So this is really great if like you're looking for like a password and you're like trying to check to see if a character has a number in it, has an uppercase, has a lowercase, whatever. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and instead of this password equal password, we're going to go ahead and try common passwords dot exists password. Let's try that out. Is that working? Looks like it is not working for me. So we'll try contains. Okay. So now if we did this right, it should say that we have, 1, 2, 3. It should give us, whoa there, cowboy, that's not secure. Okay. Also, sneak peek alert. I just found out that Blahaj gang is not the biggest guild there is. So I'm gonna really need y'all to go to discord.mlh.io, sending the link right there, discord.mlh.io, and make sure you sign up for local hack day and join the Blahaj gang. Okay, it would make Jack, Adam, me very happy, and it's honestly just a fun time if you're looking to, you know, meet like over 100 hackers in our little community. It'll be a good time. Okay, so make sure you sign up for Blahaj Gang because I want Blahaj Gang to be #1. We can do it. Okay, we can. So now let's go ahead and back to C#. We're gonna go ahead and run this again. We're gonna do .NET run. That's gonna take a sec to compile. What's my password? I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, cowboy. That's not so secure. Try again. Okay, then I'll do password. And that also worked. Now, let's do any other password. I'm going to say secure. And it said, that's secure. Great job, buddy. And then it reminds me, you were not secure. It failed. So maybe this is a little misleading. I'm going to say, did it fail at least once instead of did it fail? Okay. I'm loving that y'all love coding, okay? So now what we'll go ahead and do is let's try a little challenge. I'll code on my screen as well, but I kind of want to give y'all a chance to check this out. So I have, okay, y'all have to promise me, I'm going to give you this GitHub link. It has my answer in it, but I'm going to need you to not look at the code. Okay, just look at the README. Do not look at the code. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is check out this GitHub, scroll all the way down, and or I can also share my screen. What am I doing? I do have that power. Oh, I have to remember to click to share my screen. Okay, so I have like this little challenge right here. So this is just kind of like a fun, like, oh, you can see all my tabs where I Googled everything. Or DuckDuckGo'd everything. But this challenge right here, essentially, it's going to require you to use a bunch of if statements, use input, or like use readline, and then use writeline. So with that, make sure that you you check it out, see, try it out for a little bit, and then we can also come and work it together. I just think it'd be fun to kind of do that for about like 5 to 10 minutes, and then we can circle back. And I don't know if y'all have some like fun chatbots that you want to show off. This does not need to be like perfect. But if you have some fun chatbots you want to try out, just let me know, or show off on stream, just let me know, and then we can, invite you to stream and come say hi. I always love to end a stream like with seeing other people, especially since this is our last March challenge, okay? Yeah, I think I say like a lot. I'm a teenage girl, what can you expect? But it does not have to be perfect. It really doesn't. It just needs to be fun. It doesn't necessarily have to reach all of these, and this is more of a guide, but if you can make like a fun, like simple chatbot for a local restaurant, then, or like some kind of like restaurant system, it'd be a good time. Just try to incorporate, using if statements, using read lines. If you incorporate a loop, good for you. And then make sure like everything is like, once you get all this information, once you do the chat, make sure you have a way to like regurgitate. It doesn't have to be perfect. Everyone does typos. Everyone like makes a mistake. All in all, definitely recommend that you test it out on your own computer before hopping on stream. But it doesn't like, if you have a typo here or there, it's fine. We'll debug it live. It's all about a learning experience. Okay, so I'm gonna go find some Twitch appropriate music that I've actually never tried. I've never tried sharing music over StreamYard before, so I'm gonna need y'all to help me out in case it does not work. Purple Play-Doh pasta. What? I'm gonna use there's a Spotify playlist called Royalty Free Music. So, okay. I'm gonna try it out. It's official. Okay, can y'all hear this? I'm using StreamYard. I don't know, can y'all hear myself? Even now? Wait, no, I'm gonna find this out so y'all don't have to do it through the mic. I do use StreamYard. Yeah, checking audio share options. So yeah, sorry, this is my. Oh, okay. So share. We're on this journey together. How about now? You know what? This is something that I will figure out for local hack day share. I think part of it is I also need like earbuds. But for right now, if you want to vibe to music, this is a playlist that I highly recommend. But I'm going to give y'all probably about like 10 minutes to do this on your own. We'll just kind of hang out. And yeah, we'll do about 10 minutes. And then about 5 minutes in, I'll do like the cute like video thing if I can, or I'll find a video that we can use. It'll be a good time. So just remember, all you have to do is just make some kind of chat bot. I'm gonna go off screen to let y'all code for a bit and practice those C# skills. And I'm also going to try it myself from scratch, as well as grab a little snack. I'm kind of hungry, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I will see y'all back in about like, I'll probably pop in at like 5 minutes, and then I'll see y'all again in 10 minutes. Okay, y'all. I'm testing my little chatbot for the first time. I'm a little nervous. So take some time to kind of like wrap it up. And then what we'll do is, so I can have y'all come on stream, is, okay, I'm gonna turn on my DMs for a sec. Usually they're off, but if you're interested in going on stream, if you could find me on the Discord, and then DM me a screenshot of your code. At least try testing it once, whether it's like the console or like your actual code. And then I'll pick like 2 to 3 people, depending on how much time we have, and then have y'all join the stream. Okay, so to kind of give you, okay, I have never tested my code before, so I'm gonna go ahead and share it. So take this time, if you are down to come say hi, DM me, and then we can get you on stream here. Okay. So I always forget to add to stream. Okay, there we go. So if we look down here, can I zoom in on the, oh, I can zoom in. Okay, make sure that if you're DMing me, you're also sending me some of your code too. Okay. Okay, so it says, welcome to .NET Cafe. What would you like to eat? A hamburger with the side of fries. That sounds yummy. For a drink, I want water. Let's go ahead and get rid of this banner. I want water. Do I want a lemon with that? Yeah. And then ice. Yeah. And then how much would I like to tip today? I'm feeling generous. So let's go up to $99.99. But you know, like I only have so much money. I don't want to spend a whole $100. So it says, thank you. I'll have your order of a hamburger with a side of fries, with water, with lemon, with ice, and I appreciate your tip of $99.99. So that's my little chat bot. I added this whole like the 2 arrows just because I really like, it gives me a whole like text adventure game vibe. It makes me really happy. Okay. So make sure to send me your code. I'm getting DMs, but send me your code and then I will send you a stream link so you can hop on and join me and kind of show off your work. So just take like a quick screenshot, or just copy and paste some code. I just want to make sure that y'all have like tested out first before having you hop on stream. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to invite. If you're wondering how to find me on Discord, just go to the MLH Discord. If you are not in it, it is discord.gg/MLH. If you go to the March Challenges announcements, I just made the most recent announcement. I'm also Mara from MLH if you want to find me. So I've turned on my DMs just for this. I will be turning them off shortly after this though. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and first invite Adam to stream. He said his is a surprise. So we'll go ahead and wait for him to join. In the meantime, yeah, I'll let you check out my code too. It's not perfect code, that's what I mean. It's definitely could be a lot better. I just have a lot of write lines and read lines and yes or no. And like, if lemon is true, then I just make it with lemon. So yeah. So whenever, if anyone is interested in joining stream, just hit me up with a DM on Discord. Okay, it'll be a fun time. Okay, looks like Adam is almost joined. I think he's still getting set up. Yes, the plus equal adds. This is something I completely tried like on a whim, but this is because of, what's the word? It's something that I tried because of like, I think Python. So it just adds. Okay, so it looks like Adam is here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, add you to stream and remove you from stream. I don't think your audio, no, my audio is not working. Give me 1 second.
Hello. Okay, so I kind of over-engineered it a lot, but I thought you'd like that. Look, I can't hear you. I can't hear you now.
Oh no, I'm muted. You're all good.
Oh,
Do you want to try just screen sharing the code, and that way, so it's like a lot bigger. Yeah, and zoom in just so people can see. But other than that, I'm super excited to see it.
So I used a custom structure of a drink because I thought, let's just make this as fancy as we can get it. So it basically stores the name, the lemon, and whether they want lemon, whether they want ice, all in one place. And I also made it so ask how many people they want rather than just going for one person. So it has two lists, a list of drinks and a list of foods, and then it runs for the amount of times per people we have. And it uses, it's probably, like, compared to what you've been doing, it's some quite complex stuff. It uses functions to get the drink and the food. I realize I'm not looking at the camera, but my code is on the screen over here and my camera is down here. So it's just like, I try and look, but I forget. Normally I would comment this. So when you go to input drink, it creates a new drink and it asks the person what they'd like to drink, and it stores that as drink.name. It then, if the drink is water, it asks if they'd like lemon. If anything else, well, for the rest of it, it'd ask if they want ice, and it would just return that up to here, so it adds it to the drinks list. And food does a very similar thing. It inputs food, which just asks what food they would like, inputs it as a console read line, and returns that. And then it asks how much they'd like to tip, and it converts that to a double and stores it as tip. And then it goes through each person, outputs the name of their drink, what food, and it says we appreciate the tip. So if I run this, hopefully it'll work. Fingers crossed. So ask how many people are in my party, so we'll say 2. Well, that's not a good sign. Hold on. It worked before. Oh dear.
The classic, it worked before. Honestly, I feel that.
Let me try starting that again.
Oh, it also looks like you got a comment from the chat saying
not flag, yeah. Okay, so how many people are in our party? Let's say 2. I'll go first. I'd like a Coke with ice, and I'd like some pizza. What drink would you like, Mara?
I'm good with just good old water.
Would you like lemon?
Yes.
And would you like ice?
I actually don't drink ice. I don't like it.
And what food would you like?
I will also have some pizza.
That's a good choice. How much do we want to tip? 50?
50 sounds good, you know? Yeah. Be charitable.
You can see it just outputs what person, what drink, and what food. And then it goes back again.
It's amazing. Oh, it looks like we got a question right here about your code.
Basically, it checks if you say yes. It doesn't check if you say no. If you say anything other than yes, then it would just assume you don't want it. But one way I could probably fix this is, say, if console readline, the first character equals a Y, that would just make it a bit more robust, because then if someone said yeah without an S, or yes with 2 S's, it just means it would accept it. So that's one way to improve. One way to improve it. Yeah, live programming. I mean, there are a few things that could be improved. So obviously it doesn't show whether you're having ice or lemon with the drink. So that's one thing that I could improve on it. But yeah, probably the most over-engineered program you'll see all day.
So I'm going to keep sharing questions, it looks like.
Yeah. So basically, with C#, you can literally use a string, because a string is just made of a character array. So you can just access each individual character. So the first character, second character. And you just have to make sure you use the single speech marks, because C#'s fussy like that. So you have to use a Y in speech marks. And again, I could also go dot. What is it? Apparently, Visual Studio Code doesn't have it.
I think it's too lower.
Yeah.
I think you're right, but I think capital.
Yeah. Doesn't like it in here. We'll try it. I keep wanting to press F5 because that's what I'm used to doing, and clearly that doesn't work on here. It also won't let me stop it, which is fantastic. I guess I'll just close that and start again. Let's see if this works. Hopefully. No. So it doesn't like to lower apparently on here for some reason. Which is what I've used before. Unless, of course, maybe it doesn't work for a chart. Maybe if I do two. There we go. If I make it lower first and then access the individual character.
Looks like it's liking that, I think.
Yeah. Missed the brackets. There we go. Now it should take it. Let's see if we get to it. So we say 2 again. I'll have a Coke. So if I said yeah, ye, we don't even output, do we? So it wouldn't actually show. And I'd like pizza. You wanted water with lemon and no ice, right? Yeah. Obviously, I didn't put it in to show if they wanted it, so I suppose maybe that's something I should have done as well. So where I output the drink, I could probably make this into a class instead. And then one thing I could do is public string return drink. So what this will do is I can make it output a certain string. So I could just say return the drink. Now a lot of the times I code things backwards, so I'd actually say I would do the output first. Name. And then one thing that I would put on here is if lemon the drink plus equals with lemon and if ice the drink plus equals with ice. And then finally I could just say the drink. Oh no, we don't want full stop. And of course I'm forgetting semicolons again because I've been coding in JavaScript all week and I keep forgetting semicolons. So now if I, instead of saying drink.name here, I say drink. What did I call it? Return drink. Hopefully, when I now run this, it should do what I want it to do. Fingers very much crossed. So if we go .NET run, so to our Coke.
So Adam, it looks like you got a couple questions. You got a fan club. What documentation are you referring to? Where did you learn this, I guess?
So I learned this in school using Microsoft Docs, using like knowledge of different programming languages and trying to figure out how to convert it into C#. And as like I can see you put in the chat, I just did know a lot of it to start with. I can see you're asking if I'm using the. Oh, I can click these. Or did you click it at the same time as me?
Oh, I think.
Oh, you clicked it at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, I'm using Visual Studio Code, but I've got a certain extension. How do I show extensions? It's called Node. And it just gives you this really nice theme, which I like to use a lot. We go back to here. So I'd like ice with my Coke, and I want a pizza. You wanted water with lemon and no ice and a pizza. And we're going to tip 50. So you can see now it says a Coke with ice and food pizza and water with lemon food pizza. And they appreciate the tip of 50.
Yeah, that's amazing, Adam. It looks like we're also towards the end of the stream, but I want to thank you for, not only coming on stream, showing off the whole chatbot, but then also.
If anyone needs C-Sharp help, just send me a message.
Yeah, and if you want to get to know Adam a little bit more, join Blahaj Gang for local hack day.
Blahaj Gang and Melon Squad.
Yeah, no, definitely do. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone for joining. I hope you've had a fun time, at least kind of getting introduced to C# and kind of seeing all the different things that you can do, like making a potential chat bot. And so if you have any questions, I mean, oh, looks like Adam's also showing off his Melon Squad site. That's fair. That's fair.
And we also have rest in peace.
That is me. I still have the shark and melon in my nickname. Yeah. I'll always stay there. But yeah, come join Blahaj Gang. Come join local hack day share. It will be a week long of amazing workshops and events. If you like the March challenges, these were actually inspired by our last local hack day. So if you like this style, you'll definitely love next week. So make sure you stay tuned in. It'll be a fun time. And you can join different guilds such as Blahaj Gang or others if you have like other groups that you'd like to be a part of. But yeah. Also, fun fact, if we get 45,000 check-ins to local hack day share, which we can do it, Ryan Swift will actually go live stream his trip to IKEA to buy Blahaj, a plush shark. He has not really left his house during the pandemic, and so if we get 45,000 check-ins, we're gonna get him to leave his house for Blahaj.
And who doesn't love Blahaj?
Exactly. Okay, but thanks, Adam, for joining us, and thank you, everyone, for being a part of it. It's been a great 2 hours with everyone, and I will see y'all, hopefully, at Local Hack Day, which starts tomorrow. Come pop by the No Light event with me tomorrow. I believe it's at 4 p.m. You'd have to check the schedule. I'll send it in the chat as well, but come join. All you need to know is like just a little bit of like HTML, but it'll be a fun time.
It's at 4 p.m. Yeah, Eastern time.
If you don't know Blahaj, it is a plush IKEA shark, and low key our unofficial mascot. So you'll see a lot. If you can't join, that's A-okay. There's still plenty of other fun events. Thank you, Adam, for the Blahaj tour. I really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you to everyone who joined. It's been a great time. I love me in the hacker community. So I will see y'all later. Okay, bye.
Bye.